What's up, brewheads? Welcome to another Brewthirty, where I usually drink a beer and pair it with a toy. Tonight, we're changing gears and venturing off into a territory that I was a little apprehensive to get into. Now, a lot of you guys saw my Scotch review several months ago, which was met with anything but rave reviews from all the Scotch dorks out there who get a little bit upset at how I characterize or describe Scotch, which I admit I'm not a big historian or aficionado. I just enjoy drinking it. So I thought, what the hell? Let's go ahead. Let's delve into another really nerdy field, and that is the field of bourbon. Now, before we get started, if you're one of those guys out there who's sitting there in an axe bar, never ran a chainsaw or chopped a tree down for real, wearing skinny jeans, fancy leather boots, denim shirt with no undershirt, chest hair poking through, manicured beard way better than mine, this probably is not going to be the review for you, nerd. So just move along and don't worry about this bourbon review, because I know there's a lot of psychos out there who love bourbon, so this is definitely not your review. But tonight, we're going to be reviewing one of my favorite bourbons, and that is Jefferson'S aged at sea, ocean aged at sea, I guess, straight bourbon whiskey, very small batch. So, I really enjoy this bourbon. I've had, this is the second bottle I've had, but since we're trying to get fancy tonight, I went ahead and printed off the description because I didn't want to just go ahead and describe it. So you fucking nerds out there, get on there and start telling me how wrong I am about everything. So this is off Jefferson's actual website. It says, Jefferson's Ocean Aged at Sea Bourbon is a unique bourbon whiskey that undergoes a special aging process at sea. Barrels of bourbon are loaded onto ships and allowed to sail across the ocean, exposing them to constant movement, temperature fluctuations, and sea air. This maritime aging is believed to impart distinctive flavors to the whiskey, influenced by the motion of the waves and the salty ocean air. The result is a bourbon with a complex flavor profile, often described as rich, briny, and slightly salty, with hints of caramel, vanilla, and spice. Each batch can vary slightly depending on the specific conditions encountered during the sea voyage. It's a fascinating concept that adds an extra layer of intrigue to the world of bourbon aging. So, a few problems with this. They don't tell you what sea it was aged in. So if it was the Pacific, the ocean, the Atlantic, the Adriatic, the Indian, it does. I don't know. It doesn't tell you what ocean these were aged in. Hell, this could have been put on a river down in Louisiana for all I know. So that's one thing about this you don't really know. But like I said, this is the second bottle of this that I've had. This is batch number 20, bottle 1764. Again, all you nerds out there, you might know what this is, but I do not. Anyways, let's go ahead. Before we get started, what are we going to pair this with? So we're doing a bourbon, which is ocean aged at sea. So I thought the perfect thing to pair it with would be one of the best G.I. Joe accessory sets of all time. And this is not even arguable. This is the G.I. Joe Action Sailor Deep Sea Diver uniform from probably 64, 65. This is an original mint condition. I believe I have almost all the accessories to it. And this is one of my favorite items in my vintage G.I. Joe collection. We will talk about it further as we do this review. So let me grab my dram glass here. I at least know what this is called. I think it's called a dram glass. You nerds out there tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Now, there's no right or wrong way to pour a bourbon. You pour your bourbon the way you want. I will pour my bourbon the way I want, and we will still be friends. Guys, I've been to several bourbon tastings in my life. I'm not good at them because I don't follow rules very well, if you haven't noticed. You're not supposed to stick your nose, apparently, down in the dram glass. You're supposed to just kind of whiff it all like hoity-toity, like What do I get? I get notes of vanilla, definitely notes of oak. No fruity notes, no salty, briny notes. But the best thing to do with something like this is to go ahead and taste it. Now, let's see, it's 45% alcohol, 90 proof. So this isn't going to be very strong. Obviously, with bourbons, people like their bourbons different ways, right? You could add a few drops of water to open it up. You could add an ice cube to it. I believe I usually drink mine what's called neat. I don't have anything in it at all. I don't, no ice cubes, no water or anything. Depending on the proof, I don't do much else to it besides pour it in the glass and look at it. Now it has, what's it called, lacing or whatever on it. So it's got a decent amount of lacing there. I can't really see that on camera. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not fancy. I know there's some fucking dork out there right now just going, oh, this guy's just, what a fucking idiot. Guess what? I don't care. Let's take a drink of this. Very smooth. Minimal to no burn going down. Like with higher proof stuff, obviously, it can burn right off the bat. You'll start coughing a little bit. You take too big of a drink. Very smooth. Not as rich as what I would expect. But I could definitely see the salty brininess to it. It has almost a watered down back into it. The front end is very oaky and vanilla, which obviously you're going to get that with a lot of your bourbons, I think. Let's see, what else did it describe on here? Caramel. I don't get too many notes of caramel. Maybe a little bit. Definitely vanilla, a little bit of spice. I can see the briny and the salty notes in this. But this is fascinating. It's a very interesting concept by Jefferson. I like it. I've said this is the second bottle I've bought. I bought the first time it ever came out. I went to a place that just got it in, bought it. I think it was around $90 a bottle, maybe a little less. I do know that they have a rye version of this, which is very good. I've tried it as well. I enjoy rye whiskeys, but this is really good. I actually think it's one of the better bourbons for a price point. It might be less than 90. It might be around 70 or 80 maybe. But it's very interesting that they would put a bunch of barrels on a trawler and send it out in the ocean. Like I said, they don't give you a lot of details on what they do with it. Or what oceans they use, but I would have to imagine if you think that the ocean aging process is that critical to trying this, I would have to guess that the different oceans you would be in would probably impart different flavors to this, if it's real, if that's a real thing, or this could be a gimmick for all I know. Back to the G.I. Joe action sailor and the deep sea diver outfit. One of my good friends, he was one of my brother's best friends growing up. I helped him move his mom's house when she passed away. And in doing so, he gave me this vintage G.I. Joe that he basically just had in storage somewhere. I didn't even know he was a G.I. Joe guy. He's about 4 years older than me, but he just gave it to me in a Ziploc bag. I still have the same Ziploc bag he gave it to me in around probably 13 years ago. And I got this awesome diver for helping him move. And I also got a hernia that year as well. So it was definitely worth it. This is one of the best accessory sets I think Hasbro's ever made for G.I. Joe. It's an iconic set. It utilizes the classic deep sea diver look. The helmets, you know, if you guys aren't familiar with this, everything is absolutely wicked detail. This particular one is a first issue. So the interior lining of the suit is lined with a latex lining, making it pseudo waterproof or water resistant, I guess. And obviously the helmet, if you guys aren't familiar, screws on. It has a set of threads, and then you can put G.I. Joe in the water. It's got this cool buoy to mark his location. But you can put G.I. Joe in the water. Something I didn't get out for this review. He even has these really cool metal weights on his shoes. Something I didn't get out for this review. There's a set of hoses with a almost like a whistle attachment. And what you do is you blow air into this guy or suck air out, which can drop him, changes the buoyancy of him, and you can drop him down deep into the water or raise him up. So it's really awesome. You know, the 12-inch G.I. Joe platform is the best G.I. Joe of all time. I know a lot of the O-ring and classified guys, you're all out of your fucking minds because the accessory sets that they made for these will never be done or duplicated again. They're superior in every single way. Just like you could argue bourbon is superior to most other whiskeys. And I would almost agree with that. Even though I'm partial to Scotch, but all the shit I got from the last Scotch review, I've kind of switched a little more to bourbon. Guys, definitely give Jefferson's Ocean Aged or Aged at Sea. I call it Ocean Aged for some reason. Aged at Sea a try. I think it's a really good bourbon for the price point. Get yourself a dram glass. These are probably around 20 bucks, which are a little overpriced as well. But you want to feel fancy and hoity-toity, you can do that. But as far as this figure here, these are very hard to find and very rare, especially in mint condition. And it's one of my trophy pieces in my collection. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you're one of those guys out there I was making fun of, don't get butt hurt. Head to your local gym and try to at least try to squat your own body weight, because I know the majority of you guys I've seen in those skinny jeans can't do that. Guys, we got more reviews coming. Happy Memorial, or I guess it's Memorial Day when I'm doing this, but it won't be when I drop this, I guess. I've had a few bourbons maybe before this. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And in the meantime, cheers.
Oh, blow the man down, bullies, blow the man down. To me way, blow the man down. Blow the man down, bullies, blow him away. Give me some time to blow the man down. We went over the bar on the 13th of May. Way, blow the man down. The Gallagher jumped and the gale came away. Give me some time to blow the man down. As I was a walking down Paradise Street, beware.